1 year ago, TED Circles began as a 3-month pilot. Between September and November, we were 150 hosts learning everything together. What's easy about hosting? What's challenging? How many guests do you need to invite in order to get enough to show up? It was a very special opportunity to learn and grow from the very beginning. And it's wonderful to have many of our pilot hosts here with us now. We're forever grateful. You guys took a chance and you invited people you knew and people you didn't to something nobody had ever heard about. And that began to shape the TED Circles we know and love today. We thought we could maybe pause in December, take all of the lessons on board, and our small team could implement a few improvements before the new year. But just as the shape implies, circles keep going and going and going. And so we continued through December, and throughout the winter, we were organically growing with new hosts joining every day and experienced hosts getting into stronger and stronger routines with their circles. We had this beautiful mix of new energy and budding wisdom. Then no one could have predicted what happened next. COVID-19 swept the globe, and many of the world regions were facing physical limitations never before seen, and it made TED Circle conversations all the more meaningful. And despite the fact that 95% of TED Circles took place in person before the pandemic, you all dove into hosting online. You upskilled yourselves on video call platforms, but you also had to upskill your guests because they needed to know enough to join you in your video call. And you were incredibly generous, often hosting circles more frequently to fill the void that so many of your guests were feeling, as well as generous with one another, sharing best practices that you were learning each and every circle in our Slack channel. During that time, our host community also experienced the value of TED Circles holding space for conversations that were pertinent for the issues affecting our communities in that very moment. So the special programming that we offered around COVID-19 evolved into ongoing programming that we call Here and Now. TED Circles continue to heat up over the summer. We have more registered hosts than ever before in August, which means September could see more first circles than ever before. Year one overall had a reach of 850 of our registered hosts, gathering 2,600 circles across 70 countries. In the last 5 months alone, we've hosted 300 to 400 circles every single month, which means about 5,000 guests are gathering each month to discuss things like power, resilience, change, and more. This quote articulates the sentiments that so many guests are feeling. One guest said, "I thought I wouldn't be any good at participating, but I loved it so much. I gave my opinions, was heard by others, listened to alternative points of view I'd never considered before, and left more knowledgeable. I can't wait to do another one." And a host shared this as one of the highlights in the RSVPs for today's event. They said, "I was mesmerized that we could have such fruitful discussions with people in our community after watching the TED Talk together. It's an inspiring experience to host and be part of the TED Circles movement." Multiply those experiences times 1,000,000 every month and imagine the possibilities. So in year two, our priorities are scale and teamwork. By scale, we mean through organic promotion and proactive outreach, let's have many, many, many more circles gathering. So that way these experiences are reaching people far and wide. And teamwork, through host connection and collaboration, we can learn together and share with one another. So that way we co-create a brighter future of TED Circles.